I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposites and don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And woo! Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is best bet for UFC Vegas 55. Looking forward to 11 fights in the card. A week off next week, hopefully going out on the week off if they win. And then we come back with like 10 straight weeks of UFC. So looking forward to it. We'll start with you, Weezy. Weezy, you're looking forward to a potentially card of the year here.
I'm looking forward to a week off, and I'm looking forward to watching fights all day today, hopefully cashing some tickets, having some fun. You know, the cards, some are better than others, but guess what? It's 11 fist fights, and we get to watch it and hopefully make some money on it. So that's good enough for me, man. Let's go. Let's get into it.
Let's go. Can't wait for some Amidovsky, Joseph Holmes, some high-level stuff there. Erik, you looking forward to this card today?
You know, I really only have one thing to say. It's Jelton Almeida versus Parker Porter fight day.
Ooh,
what could be bad, right?
Yeah, we have the hype train and Parker Porter going against another hype train of Jelton Almeida. Somebody's getting derailed. Looking forward to that one as well, Erik. And then we have Narco. You looking forward to it today?
No.
I like it. Absolutely like it. But if we can make some money on this card, then I'll be very, very happy. And hopefully we do. Now, before we get started, guys, as always, if you can leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. And then I also did link down Weezy, Erik, and NarcoCop's channel down below. They all three have YouTube channels. Go check them out. They do a ton of great work. And then I also linked down the MMA Engine YouTube channel as well. So let's shout out the chat real quick and get started. Thank you guys for hanging out, as always, on a Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims. Getting our last looks here. We got Benjamin, first one in the chat. We got Jarek hanging out as well. Nick, Andres, Goth. We have Javier, Ash hanging out as well. We got Brandon hanging out as always. Bimmer Dude in the chat. Goalie, Newton. We have Viral Sports. We have PSSA 31. We have Alexandru, and we have Yes Freak Miles. Thank you all for hanging out. Voodoo as well, and Jeremiah. Let's get it and let's make some money on this Saturday. So, first fight of the night, kicking it off with a high-level banger. We have Elise Reed going against Sam Hughes. Erik, we will start with you. What is your best bet for the first fight of the night?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's tough to trust either one of these fighters or to really put too much faith in them. But just based on the money line alone, like, I think it's a little closer to 50-50 myself. And I actually, if anything, I might even lean Sam Hughes a little bit here. I have heard some people kind of confident in Elise Reed, and I'm not seeing it that way personally. I would probably look toward either Sam Hughes's money line or potentially even Sam Hughes by decision. Not sure what that's or you know, actually just the over 2.5. But I think last I looked at that, it was like minus 300 or something. So maybe you could parlay that up. But
yeah, the over 2.5 minus 370. Yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, I do think this goes to decision. For me, yeah, this is a fight. Like, I'm not going out there and laying minus 140, minus 150 on Elise Reed. I think she wins, and I'm picking her to win. There's no way I'm laying that chalk. If anything, and I'm not betting on this fight, but if anything, it probably would be Reed by decision to improve that price tag a little bit. Sam Hughes, very durable. I just go with Reed by decision, which is plus money, plus 110. I think that's how I look. But again, just no interest at all in betting this first fight of the night. Narco, is anything sticking out to you on this first fight of the night here?
Yeah, disclaimer, if it looks like I'm sleeping through this podcast, it's because this card is just fucking awful. But I put a small bet on Elise Reed. Everybody should like kick my ass when this bet loses, because I told myself all week I'm not betting low-level women's MMA. And what do I do today? I bet Elise Reed minus 142. Just sort of a fade on Sam Hughes, honestly. Terrible striking. Her grappling is not all that. Elise Reed has showed that she can stand up when she's getting taken down, and Sam Hughes is not the best control grappler, and I think she won that last fight because Estela Nunez gassed. And I mean, there's not much else to say. It's also some Armed Forces Week or Day or something like that, and Elise Reed is a former Armed Forces veteran, so that's a little narrative for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, good luck, Narco. I think your bet hits, but yeah, it's going to be a sweaty one for sure. Weezy, what do you think about this first fight of the night?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard fight to bet, but I kind of like what Sam Hughes brings to the table here. So my bet for this one is Sam Hughes by decision. It's plus 220 on FanDuel. You know, whatever side you like in this fight, I really think this one goes to decision. Neither one of these ladies much in the way of finishers at this particular level. So I think that whether you're on the Reed side or whether you're on the Hughes side, pick them to win by decision, get a little bit of plus money on it. But I kind of like Hughes. She showed good pressure. She showed the ability to grapple. And if she brings the right game plan, I think that she'll be better on the ground here. And I don't think Reed is that much better of a striker than Hughes is. So, yeah, Sam Hughes by decision, plus 220. I put it in a very, very greasy four-legger that I've got out there on FanDuel right now. It's $5 to win $1,100. So the first leg is Sam Hughes by decision. So it probably doesn't have much of a chance to hit. But hey, let's dream big today.
If it hits, there's a guaranteed party at Weezy's tonight. So looking forward to that. We'll move on to the next fight. We have Felipe Colares going against Chase Hooper. And I'll kick this one off. Yeah, this line just doesn't really make much sense to me. I think, Colares probably does win, but, if anything, it is honestly like Chase Super plus 175. I think that's a little tempting, but at the end of the day, I think just the safe route is taking that fight goes decision, sitting at minus 136. Both these guys in all their losses have never been finished. Both guys don't really possess, much knockout threat. And then if anything, it's going to be a submission. I think the fight goes minus 136 is just very underpriced. Both guys BJJ black belts. I think this does go to decision more often than not. Minus 136 isn't bad. And we also have that in our PP, our probability parlay that me and Weezy did on Thursday on the MMA Engine channel. This is actually the first leg that fight goes. So I like the minus 136. Fight goes to decision. The money line of Colares is definitely scaring me, though. Narco, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, another fight that, I'm not very high on, but there's a spot that I actually do like here. I like fight goes to decision here. It's minus, I guess you can get minus 143. I got it at minus 140. I just feel like, the BJJ, yeah, I favor Hooper just a tad, but Colares is very competent there. I don't think Hooper submits him at a high percentage. And on the feet, like Colares is not much of a finisher. He has an iron chin, and so does Hooper. Very durable. So basically, it's both guys are very, very durable, and you got a very decent line at fight goes to decision at minus 136. So that's what I like here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Weezy, what is sticking out to you on this fight here?
Yeah, we've got that fight goes to decision at minus 136 in the probability parlay. It's a great spot. You could hit both of these guys in the head with a baseball bat and they wouldn't go down. They're both extremely durable and almost impervious to strikes. Watch that Montel Jackson fight. It's like watching a skit from Jackass. He's getting the shit kicked out of him for 15 straight minutes and never goes down. It's unbelievable. But I like that fight goes, but I also have the second leg of the $5 to win over 1,100 parlay is because I like the goes to decision so much. I kind of like the Hooper side because I think he can win some minutes on the ground here. He's very good on the ground, very tricky. So Hooper by decision is something like plus 340 or plus 380 on FanDuel. So that was the second leg of the 4-leg parlay that I've got that's eligible for insurance on FanDuel is Hooper by decision. But I love the fight goes to decision bet here.
Yeah, that's very juicy. Hooper by decision looks like plus 350 on Bet Online there. I do like that. Erik, what are you looking at in this fight here?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this one. It was a stay away for me, but I was kind of thinking this is a spot where you could almost have some fun get a little fancy. Like I was thinking if I was going to do anything with it, I would maybe put something on Colares' money line and then a little bit of a hedge with Hooper by sub. I think Hooper by sub is at like plus 500 or something last time I looked. I would maybe look at doing something like that. But yeah, this is one that I'm just going to sit back and watch it. I don't know what to do with this one.
Yeah, me too. Like if anything if the fight goes sticks out, but yeah, Hooper by submission is plus 500. If this fight does finish, I do think it's on the Hooper side and by submission. So I do not mind that at plus 500 there. We'll keep moving on to the next fight of the night. We have Jonathan Martinez going against Vince Morales. Weezy, I'll start with you. What are you liking here?
I don't like much here. I kind of felt like Martinez's money line as a parlay piece was good earlier in the week, but my God, it's getting juiced to the tits right now. Where is it? Like minus 280?
Minus 260 on Bet Online.
Yikes, man. And you can't even parlay stuff on Bet Online. So this is a big stay away for me. I don't like time props for this fight. I don't, because I think that either one of these guys could get knocked out, and I think it could also go to decision. But I guess Martinez's money line as a parlay piece, but I'm staying away from this fight, staying far away from it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like Martinez, and he's one of my more confident picks on a card where I'm not confident in really anything. But I liked him a lot more around like the minus 200 mark, and even then it wasn't running to the window, and now he's minus 260. He got up to like minus 280 at one point as well. Just does not make much sense to me. Like this fight very well could be very competitive. I think stylistically it's a solid fight for Martinez, but I want to trust like a minus 260 Martinez with his chin. He's been hurt multiple times. He's been dropped a lot. And Morales, he's not like some bum. And he could have success if he gets on the inside, and we are in the smaller cage. So, yeah, I like Martinez to win, but honestly, it's probably just a dog or pass situation at this point. I'd take Morales as a dog, if anything. I'm not laying minus 275 on Martinez. So Morales plus 220, I think it's going to be a lot closer than the line does indicate. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm on the Morales side here. I bet him at plus 195. I'm thinking of betting him again at plus 220. Everybody, it's a big thing with his leg kicks where he eats a lot of leg kicks. But in this fight, it's southpaw versus orthodox. So the lead leg is not going to be there as much to be chopped off, even though Martinez has great kicking game. But again, the lead leg is not going to be there for Martinez to chop off of him, and it's going to be mainly body kicks and maybe inside leg kicks. So what Morales struggles with is obviously that calf kick, and it's against guys like Benito Lopez, who switches stances and can be orthodox and throw those leg kicks, and also in the one fight where he got stopped against Gutierrez. So when it comes to the hands, I kind of like Vince Morales' hands more. His boxing is a little better. The overall striking of Martinez is better because of his kicking game. But again, I think this is a 15-minute stand-up fight, and you're getting plus 220. Like, you can't be wrong very often because it's not like Martinez has a grappling advantage. So it's a 15-minute kickboxing fighter, and Morales has shown he has very good hands. So you're getting plus 220. So I think it's a no-brainer for me at this point.
Yeah, the line's just getting crazy, so I do agree with that. Erik, what is your favorite spot for this fight?
I think it's going to be like a little bit of a running theme on this card that there were lines that I liked earlier, but they've gotten to a weird spot. So I end up picking a weird prop because I don't know what else to do. But I did parlay Martinez earlier, but yeah, I think the line is a little out of hand now. I do like Martinez to win. However, last I looked, Vince Morales by KO was at plus 500, which I thought was a pretty good number for that. I don't think that's a terribly unlikely outcome. I mean, if Morales does win, I think him potentially catching Martinez and putting him out could. Ooh, look at that. FanDuel plus 700. All right.
Yeah, they made it better. They made it better. That's crazy. Like, I think
Wow.
that's definitely on the
That
table.
is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy because Martinez is such a better minute winner, but Morales, if he wins this fight, he probably wins a moment.
Mhm.
That's power. He has power. So yeah, plus 700. My goodness, there we go. We'll keep moving on. We have Uros Medici going against Omar Morales. Yeah, definitely looking forward to this one. We will start with you, Erik. What do you like over this banger here?
All right, I'm giving another crazy prop again, but this time it's one I did actually bet. Obviously, Uros Medici is one of those guys who's kind of he either finds that round one finish or Or, well, I guess we don't know what happens with him if he doesn't find the round one finish and he doesn't get finished in round one. What happens? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. But I did actually sprinkle a little bit on Uros Medici by KO in round one. I think I got it at plus 700. Does he fall apart if he doesn't get that round one finish and he doesn't get finished in round one? I don't know. I mean, he puts a lot into everything that he throws. So there's I think we can make a decent guess that he might fall apart cardio wise if that happens. But I was willing to take a fun little sprinkle on him to find that round one finish he's always looking for.
Yep, sounds good. I mean, there's this fight and there's another fight we'll talk about where I literally think that if Medici wins, it's in round one and it's by round one KO. So at plus 700, I do like that, Erik. For me, I'm going to kind of cover both sides here. I'm going to go with the fight won't start round three, sitting at minus 122. Uros Medici in his entire career, he's never been to decision. He's never been over 2.5. He's never been to round three. He's never even been over 1.5 rounds. He's only been to the second round once, and that fight did end 50 seconds into that second round. I think Medici is going to be very live to finish Morales early, but if not, I do think he's going to slow down. I think Morales takes over and finishes him, probably second round there. So I like the fight won't start round three, minus 122. I love betting on these killer be killed fighters that have never been to decision, and Medici definitely does fit under that bill. So give me that fight won't start round three at minus 122 there. Weezy, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I bet this way earlier in the week, about a week ago, and I got the under 2.5 at minus 125. I mean, I still almost like it here at minus 165 on Bet Online, but I think what Brady just gave you, the fight doesn't start round three, is a much better bet. It's a better price, and it would still cover the fact that Medici has never been past that point in his career, whether it's over 2.5 or just over 2. He's never been there. So you might as well take the fight doesn't start round three, the bet that Brady just gave you, because it's a better value than what you would get for the under 2.5 right now at minus 165. But yeah, violence is the word in this fight. It's either going to be Medici in round one or Morales late round one, round two.
Sounds good to me. I like it right there with you. Narco, what are you liking in this fight here?
Yeah, same thing, basically what you guys said. Under 2.5, you can get it on DraftKings at minus 155 right now. So I did hit that under. I think this fight is basically, exactly how you broke it down. Killer be killed Medici. Why would we expect anything else from this guy? And people, I've heard a lot of talk about how Morales is not a big finisher, but the guy prior to coming to the UFC finished every one of his fights. So I think it's more of a case of he's fought very durable guys outside of Dong Hyun Kim. The other guys are very, very durable. Benitez, Chikadze, Young, and Pierce. So, yeah, give me the under 2.5. I think that's a pretty solid bet here.
Sounds good to me. So we all are in agreement there in some violence. We have the people's main event next. We have Jailton Almeida going against Parker Porter. Weezy, we'll start with you. What do you like in here?
This one is an interesting one. It's going to be such a fun fight. But you mentioned something on the on probability on Thursday, Brady, and that was the under 1.5. Almeida's never been past that, so it's a great spot. And I kind of feel like if you're on that Almeida side, you can get the under 1.5 at minus 158 on Bet Online. And that's kind of like Jailton Almeida's win condition here, because he's never beaten anybody over 1.5 rounds. So that's probably the best bet for this fight. Violence is probably what's going to happen in this one. And, if you're on that Porter side and want to take a long shot, stab on Porter, it's plus 1,400 by decision or something like that. Have some fun with it. But, Jailton should go in there and get the job done quickly.
Yeah, a lot of people taking a shot on that Porter. Looks like it's been hit now to plus 1,100 for Porter by decision. And then also, If you do like the Porter side, I think the decision only for Porter could be somewhere to look as well. So for me, I'm going to go with the under 1.5 rounds. Basically, Almeida, 15 fights. He's won all 15 of them. Under 1.5 rounds. He's minus 650 on the money line. Looks like the under 1.5. It has been hit all week, but yeah, minus 158. I mean, I just rather would lay the minus 158 on the under 1.5 than laying minus 650 on Jailton Almeida. I also saw that I think it was FanDuel has Almeida to win in either round one or round two at minus 170. I think that's much better than laying minus 600 on Almeida as well. So, I think Almeida does finish him early. If he doesn't, I think it gets really interesting. And also from a live betting standpoint, I'll be taking a look at that Porter live line. If it does get out of the first round, I just don't think it does. I think Almeida does derail the hype train here. Erik, what's sticking out to you on this banger here?
Sorry, I just want to address something in the chat quick. Either somebody hacked me or somebody made an account and like took my, because I just want to let everybody know I'm not actually typing in the chat right now.
I blocked it. I knew it was fake.
There's an Erik Betts Fights in there with my logo and my name and everything. So I don't know what's going on, but just wanted to let you guys know that's not me. I'm not typing anything. So
yeah, I blocked it.
Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, a lot of people are calling this the people's main event, and I can't tell if some people are joking about it or not. But
we're
this
joking.
Is literally my favorite on the card. Yeah, like I'm actually very excited for this fight. I think it's a really interesting matchup. And the sort of the classic breakdown seems to be that Almeida is probably going to find the finish in round one, and I do think that's pretty likely. But if that doesn't happen, the fight gets really interesting from there. But I did actually bet to finish with or to keep going with the prop thing I'm doing here today. I did actually bet another prop here. I bet Jailton Almeida by KO in round one at plus 550. You're getting a lot better lines on his KO props than on his sub props. I think a lot of people are thinking he's going to find the sub here, but I mean, him getting on top and finding the ground and pound finish like he did in his last fight, I think is live too here. And I thought plus 550 for him to get that KO in round one was pretty decent value. So I did put a little sprinkle on that.
Sounds good. I like it. And then I believe Narco, right? What's your favorite bet for this fight?
Jaltim KO. I got it at plus 300. It's plus 275. I just think it's a good prop for a guy that's minus 600 and has some nasty ground and pound. And even on the feet, I think he could hurt Parker Porter here on the feet. So Jalton Almeida, I was pretty high on. I don't understand why he's going to heavyweight. You see he weighed in at 220, so he's undersized a little for the heavyweight division. But the guy packs a lot of power. If he gets takedowns here, he should be able to absolutely destroy Parker Porter on the ground. So give me Almeida by KO. It's plus 275. I still like it.
Sounds good to me. We'll keep moving on to Alan Amidovsky going against Joseph Holmes. Weezy, we'll start with you. What do you like for this fight here?
Oh, boy. This is an interesting one. It's fun. I definitely would say that the fight doesn't go to decision is feels really safe this week. It feels like my safest fight doesn't go pick for the week. Well, Almeida Porter is there too, but I actually took a small shot, a quarter of a unit on Alan Amidovsky by first round KO. He's basically Abdul Razak Al Hassan. That's his only win condition. So at plus 1,000 for a guy that's really 33% on the implied probability of the line, to get him at 10%, which is his only win condition, landing that one big shot in the first round. I took a shot on that, but I also have a parlay with the probability parlay was fight goes to decision for Hooper Colares and fight doesn't go to decision for Amidovsky Holmes. And it feels really safe. You could even do the under 1.5. The fight doesn't start round 3, the under 2.5. They all feel safe because Amidovsky is the definition of a killer be killed fighter. And both of these guys have 100% finish rate in their wins.
Sounds good. I like it. Erik, what do you like for this fight here?
I do like Joseph Holmes here, but this is one of those spots where, even though I like him quite a bit, I think he's got like 6 inches of height and like 6 inches of reach or something. And I do like him here, but he's a fighter that, what is the money line at right now? It's like minus 200. I was thinking he's not a guy that I'm comfortable putting 2-1 on, even when I do think he has a lot of things going his way in this fight. If I was going to bet it, I would probably be looking at Holmes by sub or Holmes inside the distance, something like that. I actually did sprinkle a little bit on Holmes by sub in round 2. I've got a bunch of weird props going on this week, but I was thinking, maybe Amidovsky makes it to the second round and Holmes cranks it up a little more. I think I got Holmes by sub in round 2 at like plus 800. I did put a little bit on that.
All right, there we go. Holmes sub round 2. I like it. Narco, what do you like over this fight here?
Yeah, there's a couple of bets I really like here. One is Joseph Holmes decision only. It was at minus 115 on DraftKings. I love that bet. Amidovsky is not going to win minutes here. Joseph Holmes, the way better grappling upside here. I think he's going to have the volume advantage here. He's the much bigger guy. Amidovsky is basically finish or bust. And you're getting one of those great lines that, I don't know what it is exactly, but I bet it at minus 115. decision only on DraftKings. The other bet I really like is fight doesn't start round 3. It's minus 136 on FanDuel. I really like that bet. I don't think this fight reaches that 3rd round. So, yeah, those are my breakdowns on this fight.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Looks like the decision only is around like minus 150 now. And then, yeah, I'm right there with you with the fight won't start round 3, minus 136. Both guys, 100% finish rate. I see this finishing very early. And Weezy, I think that Amidovsky first round knockout is his win condition. I think that's how he wins. And I think Holmes could also get a knockout. But if he gets the fight down to the mat, I think he's very live for that sub as well. So I think violence here once again to end the prelims. So let's move on to the main card. Before we do so, we have 365 even here. If you all can hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And then also I did link down Erik, Weezy, and NarcoCop's channel as well. Go check them out. Go sub to them. And then also go sub to the MMA Engine YouTube channel as well. So we have Erik Anders going against Jung Young Park. We'll start with you, Erik. What do you like him for this fight here?
I do like Park here, but this is another one where I feel like the line is getting to the point where I don't love it so much. I ended up parlaying the I think it was the over 2.5. I can't remember if it was the over 2.5 or the goes to decision, but yeah, I think I put the over 2.5 in a parlay here. I do think we probably see this go to decision. I do lean Jung Young Park. You know, I think he's the more skilled guy. I think he's going to be the quicker guy. I think he's probably going to be the better wrestler. I mean, obviously Anders he's a big, strong, athletic guy. I guess it's hard to ever think of other things, positive things to say about him, I guess. But, you know, he's a tough guy to deal with for that reason alone, I guess. But I do think Jung Young Park is the better fighter all around here, and I do like him to win. I think, you know, like I said, I don't like his money line. Last I looked, I think his by decision prop was like, I think it was like even money. It was like plus 100 or something, which I don't really love that either. So, I would maybe look at just going with the over here.
Yep, I went with the same thing. And what the fight goes to decision, minus 164. Yeah, I think both guys are very, very tough, very durable. I don't see a sub from either guy. I think it's close. I think it's kind of greasy. I think it does go to decision, minus 164. I don't think it's half bad. So give me the fight goes. No really strong lead in terms of picking a winner. I do lean Park, but I don't really like the minus 205. Narco, what do you like in here for this fight?
Nothing really sticks out. I do like the Park side, but again, minus 200. Not really interested. Something that I am kind of interested in is Park submission plus 1,000. I think he's the better grappler here. Like if you get this fight to the ground, you see in some of his UFC fights, like he does go for submissions here. He's got a pretty good ground game. He's had, I think, 3 or 4 submissions in his career. So we know he does go for them. He goes for them in the UFC. And, you know, I think if he gets this fight to the ground, he's live for a submission and getting a big number. So plus 1,000. Park by submission.
All right, there we go. Big odds there. I like it. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
So I got a bet earlier in the week on Sunday night, or I mean last Saturday night. I got Anders at plus 205. It was the best line that you could get. It was just something I did before I went to bed because it looked like the line was getting out of hand. Now that the line is getting back to about where it should be, you know, I like you guys fight goes to decision bet. I think that probably happens, but Park has won all of his fights in the UFC by decision, and he's lost all of his fights in the UFC inside the distance. So, you know, there is a potential that Park gets finished here, but I think Park by decision, if you're on the Park side, is a good one. But the third leg of the 4-leg parlay that you put down $5 to win 1,100 is Erik Anders by decision at plus 360. I don't think he's finishing Jung Young here, so Anders by decision at plus 360. I think it's his best win condition. And I think that's a really fat line, really juicy. And I think Anders' path here is to make this fight greasy, win minutes on the cage and on the ground. And since he's the bigger, stronger athlete, and since this guy was tackling people for a living at the University of Alabama on their championship football team, I think that he can just tackle the smaller Jung Young Park, get him down to the ground, win enough minutes there to win a decision. So I'm picking Anders by decision at plus 360.
Sounds good. And then also, I'd be curious to wonder what like the split decision prop is for this fight, because this has kind of split written all over it. But we'll move on to the next fight. We have MMA Twitter's fight of the week. We have Viana going against Tabitha Ricci. Narco, we'll start with you. What do you like in here?
Actually, I'm going fight doesn't go to decision, plus 115 here. It's going to be a grappling fight. Both girls are dangerous on the ground. Viana, throws up a ton of submissions on bottom. Ricci probably has the wrestling upside here, but she herself also throws decent ground and pound and goes for submission. So I know both girls are skilled, but there's going to be a ton of opportunities where this fight gets ended. So I like the plus money. I mean, it's women's MMA. It's 115 pounder, and look at this line. It's only plus 110. Like normally that line in this type of setting is probably, plus 200 or 250 here. So I think the books know something about this fight and kind of agree with them. I think this fight doesn't go to decision.
Yeah, we talked about this one on probability, and we did like that on probability. And we also said maybe the fight ends by submission around plus 200 stuck out as well. For me, I'm just going to go with the Tabitha Ricci money line, minus 125. I got it at minus 115. It hasn't moved all that much. I just think she's going to be the minute winner here. I think she can get takedowns whenever she wants. Pauline Viana has no takedown defense. She's willing to, stay on her back. Tabitha Ricci being a black belt, I think she gets the fight down to the mat, stays safe on top, and either gets a submission in her own right or cruises to a decision here. So I like the Ricci money line. I wouldn't really mess around with the decision or sub because I can honestly see either. Erik, what do you like for this fight here?
I honestly echo pretty much exactly what you said. Tabitha Ricci's money line is my biggest bet on the card. I think I've got 3 units on her at like minus 116, something like that. And I really don't have anything to add to your breakdown. I like Ricci to be able to get takedowns, to be able to win minutes on top, and to be able to, she's a pretty high level black belt herself. I think she's going to be able to keep herself safe from Viana's attempts from her back. So yeah, I like the Tabitha Ricci money line quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully it works out. I'm right there with you, Erik. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. The Ricci money line, I've got it in my greasy 4-legger that I gave out on Just the Tip this week. It's about winning minutes. It's about being able to get takedowns when she wants them. And also, she pressures well. So I think that the reach advantage for Viana won't mean as much if Tabitha fights smart and walks forward. So yeah, I think she's the better minute winner here. Minute winner here. And the money line even at minus 125 right now on DraftKings is pretty good.
Sounds good to me. Let us keep moving on. We have it Chidi and Kuani going against Dusko Todorovic. Narco, we'll start with you. What do you like in here?
Yeah, I played this Todorovic money line now. It's plus 230. I just think it's getting a little insane here. Like Kuani, got a flash KO against Andre Barrio. I mean, it was a behind the ear shot. Nice strike. Props to him, but minus 300 now all of a sudden in a fight where Dusko, he went 3 hard rounds against Rodriguez, was decently competitive. And we know Rodriguez, the fight there where, he couldn't really use his grappling, right? Because Rodriguez is a very, very good grappler. So here in this fight, he can use the clinch work. He can use the grappling against Kuani, because I think he is a better grappler than Kuani. So we saw Carvalho hold this guy up against the cage for minutes. I think Dusko can do the same thing here. And obviously, if it's standing and it's a kickboxing match, Kuani is the clear favorite. But I think there's other paths here for Dusko. So give me plus 230. I think this line's too wide.
Yeah, this line's crazy. Like, I taped this on Sunday. I'm like, yeah, I like Chidi. And then I saw the line. It was like minus 190. I'm like, I don't know. Because you go back and you watch some of these Chidi fights from just a couple of years ago, and there's a ton of things I don't like. His takedown defense doesn't look great. Doesn't look good off his back. He's kind of quitting in fights. He's gassing out. And then all of a sudden, he's minus 300 just about. Minus 280 on FanDuel. And I just can't get there. I couldn't get there at minus 190. Why would I play him at minus 280? I guess if I was to bet this fight, which I'm not, there's nothing that really sticks out. Obviously, the fight doesn't go to decision. Is minus 180 on 5 dimes. That's kind of nuts, but I don't have 5 dimes. I think Kuani by KO. They opened it up on BetOnline at plus 155. It is now minus 105. Still minus or plus 105 on FanDuel. I think I'd look at that. I think if he does win, it is by knockout, but I really, really don't like the money line, especially where it's at now. But I'll say Kuani does knock him out early, but not too confident in this fight, honestly. Weezy, what's sticking out for you on this one?
I'm with NarcoCop here. This line has gotten stupid. Minus 280 for Kuani makes no sense. And if you go back and you watch the Todorovic fight against Teddy Ash, he held him up against the cage for like 10 or 11 minutes in that fight. And just like NarcoCop said, we've seen Chidi lose a ton of minutes on the cage. So even if Dusko doesn't get this to the ground, I think he can make it really greasy. And I think he could get a finish on the ground if it does get there. But plus 230 for this guy? I mean, Chidi Kuani's lost 6 of his 7 career wins have been inside the distance. He's given up in there. He's a little bit hot right now, but I think he might have gotten a little bit lucky there against Barrio. So, yeah, I mean, I cannot find any bets worth making on Chidi Kuani when his money line is at minus 280. I mean, that's almost a 75% implied probability right there. So I think the only bettable side here is Dusko, and the money line at plus 230 is pretty good.
Yep, completely agree. The line just getting crazy at this point. Erik, how do you feel about this fight here?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in line with everybody. This is one of those spots where I feel like the line movement sort of forces your hand. Like I did put Chidi in a parlay earlier on. I think he was at like minus 180, and I already felt like that was borderline, that I wasn't super comfortable with it. And where it's at now is like, yeah. And, you know, Chidi's been really inconsistent. I do sort of lean toward thinking that he might be in like a little bit of a better spot right now. Like for a while, it almost seemed like he kind of was going through the motions and didn't care. And I sort of feel like maybe he has sort of rededicated himself and is taking the sport a little bit more seriously. I mean, you know, maybe we'll see a little bit more of that here, but yeah, at this point, like if you're going to bet Chidi, you pretty much have to look at props, but yeah, you pulled up that by KO and that's not even at plus money. So I don't love that. Like, yeah, I think you almost got to bet Dusko at this point if you're going to put anything on it. And for the reasons that you guys said, like we've seen Chidi will just let his back hang out on the cage for a long, long time. And so there's a spot where, you know, there's definitely both guys do things well that are weaknesses for the other guy. So it does seem a little weird for Chidi to be favored that heavily when there is really a pretty clear path to victory for Dusko if he doesn't get caught on the chin.
Yeah, there is. Like, what happens if Todorovic gets on top of him? Then I mean, it could get very, very interesting, especially at minus 300. So, yeah, not a
Brady,
fight.
Brady, I just want to say that Chidi opened up at minus 120.
Crazy.
So, I mean, it really has gotten way out of line. Now, it opened up at minus 120, went immediately down to around minus 180. But still, man, that's where the bookies opened it. So just be careful if you're on that Chidi side. It's getting really wide.
Yep, it is getting really wide. Indeed, we got to watch out for that. We'll move on to the co-main event. We have Michel Pereira going against Santiago Ponzinibbio. And Erik, we'll stick with you. What do you like for this co-main event here?
This is a fight that I've really struggled with. I've gone back and forth, and there's a lot of question marks in it for me, and I don't really feel super confident either way. Like I think to beat Michel Pereira, you have to keep him uncomfortable. You have to kind of keep him cut off the cage, keep him on his heels. You can't really let him get into his game, you know. And I know Ponzinibbio is certainly capable of doing that, but I just don't know how much I trust him to do that at this point. I think Pereira definitely he brings danger here. Like even though it's a little bit goofy when he does his his spinning capoeira kicks and things like that. I mean, he's putting them out there. A lot of times they're not landing, but if they do, it can definitely be problematic. What is it? Pereira's like, is he at like minus 130, minus 135, something like that now? He's a little bit of a favorite, I think. And yeah, I don't really like either of the money lines. I wouldn't do anything with this one. If I was I would maybe look at sprinkling Michel Pereira by KO or something like that, but I don't think that's super likely either. So yeah, I don't have anything good for you here.
Yeah, I feel it on this one. Weezy, what do you like for this co-main event here?
Yeah, this is a close fight. I really think it goes to decision. Both of these guys are pretty damn durable. I think Pereira's got something like 11 losses in his career, and only 2 of them been inside the distance. And one of those losses was to Dusko Todorovic inside the distance up at 185. So I think whatever side you like here, bet him by decision. But the 4th leg in the 4-leg greasy that I just gave out on Twitter is Santiago Ponzinibbio by decision. So the greasy 4-legger, it's a 4 decision prop bet. Sam Hughes by decision, Chase Hooper by decision, Erik Anders by decision, Santiago Ponzinibbio by decision. $5 to win over 1,100. Let's get it, you guys.
Let's get it. Party at Weezy's parlay there. And yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Weezy. Yeah, it's going to be a very close fight. I think it does go to decision. I think that Ponzi by decision is, plus 260. I think I'd go with that. But yeah, another fight where I'm just kind of passing, sitting back and watching this one. But I think Ponzi has all the tools to win here. I think the pressure is going to be huge. I think the cardio is going to be huge. I love his striking as well. Pereira definitely the more flashy striker. But, as the fight goes on, we do see Pereira slow down pretty much every fight. So I like Ponzi. Should be a close one. Plus 260 by decision. I don't hate. Narco, what do you like for this co-main event here?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same with you guys. I'm not really sure here. In a fight where I'm not sure like this, I'd rather take the plus number, plus 125 on Ponzinibbio. I do think, he can have the upside with the third round here. So if he can take one of the first 2 rounds, I think he has the better cardio. I think he might be able to implement a little bit of the calf kick here against Pereira, maybe slow down his movement. And yeah, I mean, eventually get that third round. And you're just hoping he pulls out one of the first 2 rounds here, because Michel Pereira usually slows down in that third round while Ponzinibbio comes on.
Yep, completely agree there. And we'll move on to our main event. Before we do so, hit the like button. We have 450 of you in here. Let's try to get to 100 likes. I'm not sure where we're at right now. Checked a little bit ago, around 60. Let's try to get to 100 by the time this is over. But yeah, main event here, Holly Holm, Ketlen Vieira, and Weezy. I have a suspicion that this might be your ass shaving of the week, so we'll start with you.
Well, we went through 10 fights and none of them were my ass shaving of the week. So here we are, you guys. Holly Holmes money line minus 225 on DraftKings is parlayable in my opinion. Holly Holm is Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. I was just really impressed by what I saw on tape from Holly. She's really good everywhere. Her striking is fantastic. It reminds me a lot of Manon Fiorot with her ability to kind of keep range with the kicks. And keep her opponent away from her and score when her opponent can't. She put on a masterclass against Irene Aldana in the striking realm. And then, on the cage, she's winning a lot of minutes on the cage. She's doing very well with her clinch work. Her technique is perfect, on the cage. So I think she wins minutes there. And I think she might even try to get a couple of takedowns here. I think she could take down Ketlen Vieira if she wants to. I don't necessarily think that that'd be the best idea here. I do see a path for Ketlen. One of the things that did alarm me a little bit about Holly Holm is she has not faced a lot of grappling heavy game plans yet in her UFC career. And if Ketlen brings that grappling heavy game plan, it could make this fight a lot closer than what the line indicates right now. But I think that there's a big hole in Ketlen Vieira's 5-round conditioning, being able to push a wrestling heavy game plan against somebody like Holly that's never gotten tired in the UFC. I think Holly's better everywhere. She's Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week, and I think you can parlay her up at minus 225 on DraftKings.
Yep, right there with you. I did bet her straight on Monday at minus 225. She's now minus 220 on Bet Online. I mean, we broke it down on our main event deep dive, and I'm like, man, I like Holly Holm a lot. The one thing that worried me was the fact that she's 40 years old now. She's taken a little bit over a year layoff as well. But really, that's the only thing that concerns me. I think Vieira, maybe she can take down Holly Holm early and have success. But like you said, is she going to be able to keep up that wrestling heavy game plan for 5 rounds? I don't think so. Is she going to be able to outstrike Holly Holm for 5 rounds? I definitely don't think so. And as the fight goes on, Holly Holm, like you said, she never slows down. Whereas Vieira, we've seen her slow down in 3-round fights. So yeah, I like Holly Holm here. Again, the age is the only thing that does scare me. Maybe she shows up and she looks old. But if she shows up and looks anything like she did in her last fight, which was last year against Irene Aldana, I think she does, win this fight and probably win it by decision. I wouldn't completely rule a late finish as well because we have seen Vieira slow down. But yeah, Holly Holm for me, minus 220. I think the 4 or 5 decision, last time I saw it was around minus 145. I don't hate that as well. But yeah, I do like Holly Holm and I like her quite a bit. Erik, what do you like for this main event here?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and be a broken record here. I like Holly Holm. I like her quite a bit here. Is the price a little high? I don't know, maybe, but I think it's pretty fair. Like, I think you can still put her in a parlay. Like, I think she's the better fighter here overall. I think she's got really solid skills everywhere. Like, we mostly think of her as a striker, but she's a pretty decent grappler too, I think, and I think, there is the little bit advanced age and a little bit of a layoff. It's hard to know how much to weigh those things in your capping, and I don't feel like those are going to be a huge significant factor here. No way to know, I suppose. But yeah, assuming that she comes out looking, pretty close to how she's looked recently in her most recent fights, like I think she's, she should have it pretty much everywhere here. I like her a lot in this spot.
Yep, completely agree. Narco, what do you like for the main event here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with you guys, but my bigger concern is the fact that, Holm has been out for a year and a half. She's 40 years old now. And the last 2 fights of hers were canceled due to injury. One, I guess she had her kidneys were swelling up or something like that. And the other one against Dumont where she had a knee injury. So It's just a little bit of a concern, like with injuries, the time off, the age. I mean, everything is piling up against Holm. And the fact that you have to lay, you know, minus 220, 230 on someone like that, it creeps me out. So for me, honestly, I'm going to just go with fight goes to decision. It's minus 225. You know, I know it's a 5-round fight, but, you know, Holm most of the time goes to decision. Her wins are almost always by decision. So minus 225, I don't think is a horrible price tag to pay.
Sounds good. Yeah, those are definitely my same concerns with Holly Holm, but I think she will be all right. But we'll definitely see tonight pretty soon here. So yeah, guys, that is about it. Went through all 11 fights here. We'll start with you, Weezy. Let the people know where they can find you. And we have a week off this week, but let them know what you're going on in the near future here.
Yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Weezy. You can find me on Pub Sports Radio. You can find me on the MMA Engine YouTube channel. And you can find me right here on DFS by the Numbers YouTube channel. I do content 6 out of 7 days a week, so I'm pretty easy to find. And what else is easy to find? When we put in the research, it's easy to find those stacked tickets like flapjacks, you guys. We're going to be cashing them. So let's get it for UFC Vegas 55. Good luck on all your bets, everybody.
Let's go. Let's stack them up. Erik, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Erik Bets Fights on Twitter. Also, Erik Bets Fights on YouTube. I've also been doing content for Never Hedge Media on YouTube. I'm not quite at the Weezy level yet, but pretty soon here I'm going to be doing like 4 or 5 shows a week, I think. I do a full card breakdown on my own channel, the Erik Bets Fights channel. That's usually out on Wednesday, and then I've got a Thursday night show called Big Money Bets where I bring on a guest and we go over some props and parlays, and then I got a few things over on that Never Hedge Media channel I'll be doing as well. Thanks a lot for being here, everybody.
Sounds good, Erik. Thanks for being on. Go check out Erik. He does a great work. The Narco, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, NarcoCop on Twitter, NarcoCop MMA on my YouTube channel. Every Friday, Lambeau Plays podcast, 9 p.m. I didn't do it this week. I was out with the wife. But yeah, I also do Twitter Spaces live today for the fight card. So we got a live space on Twitter. And also do a recap tomorrow at 12 p.m. on Twitter Spaces.
Sounds good. Go check them out. I was hanging out in the spaces yesterday. Was a fun show there. But yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. Subscribe here to the channel. Lots of content. MMA Engine as well. Link is down below. Check that out. My Friday live stream is now on there going forward. And yeah, guys, let's make some money. Not the best card in the world, but if we can make money, I'll definitely be happy. And then, like I said, week off next week. We come back 10 straight weeks of UFC. So looking forward to that. Thank you all for hanging out. And best of luck for UFC Vegas 55. See you guys.